Hey everyone, welcome back to the Data Crunch podcast. I'm Vadym, Growth Marketing Manager here at OWAX, and today we're getting into a topic that is absolutely crucial for businesses looking to make sense of their data. Data analytics implementation. Let's be real, everyone wants to be data-driven, but very few actually get it right. Why? Because they set up some analytic tools, check a few reports, and thinks that's enough. Okay, but if your data analytics setup isn't designed properly, you're just looking at numbers that might be misleading. And to break this down step by step, I've got Ievgen here with me. Ievgen, how big a deal is analytics implementation in your view?
It's everything, Vadym. Think about it this way. Data is only useful if it actually helps businesses make decisions. But what happens when it's incomplete, inaccurate, or just a mess? Bad data means bad decision, wrong decision. I've seen companies where they thought their marketing was performing well based on their reports, only to realize later that the tracking was broken. Imagine making strategic decisions based on incorrect data. That's a disaster waiting to happen. So today, we are going through 6 critical steps that businesses need to follow to make sure their analytics is rock solid.
Yeah, I like it. All right, before we dive into those 6 critical steps, I want to remind everyone, if you're tuning in on YouTube, do hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below, will you? Your feedback only helps us improve, but it also motivates us to bring you the most actionable insights every week. For those listening on other platforms, be sure to subscribe as well and get notified of new episodes every Thursday. Your engagement is crucial for us, and it helps us reach more listeners who could benefit from mastering data analytics just like you. Now, Ievgen, what's the first critical step businesses need to take to ensure their analytics setup is effective?
First things first, you don't start with a tool. You start with a clear understanding of the business goals. Because if you don't know what success looks like, how do you measure it? Businesses need to be crystal clear on 2 things. What they want to achieve, like increasing conversions, reducing churn, generating more revenue. And second is how they will measure success. I mean, which key performance indicators truly matter. For example, an e-commerce company might track average order value, repeat purchase rate, and cart abandon rate. A SaaS business, on the other hand, would look at churn rate, MRR, feature adoption. But here's the mistake that people make. They start tracking the vanity metrics, like website visits, social media likes. Those do not actually help make bold decisions.
Okay, so we've got the goals and KPIs. What's coming next?
A lot of companies collect tons of data, but it's messy, fragmented, just unreliable. So businesses need to ask, is our data even in a good state? So before anything else, businesses should audit the data completeness. Like, are all key interactions being captured? Like, do you have at least the foundation for going forward? The next one is data accuracy. Are there inconsistencies or missing values? Number 3, compliance. Like, when dealing with data, you are meeting GDPR, CCPA, and other regulations. Are you meeting them? And then there is infrastructure. Like, if you want to build real-time analytics, you need a system that can handle it. No one wants reports that take 30 minutes to load when you press the refresh button.
Yeah, sure. Data reliability is important. So that was step number 2. What's the next step for us?
Well, now we need to map out how users interact with your business, because every business has a different user journey. Like, how does the funnel look like? You need to break it all down. Like, What actions do users take? Signing up, making a purchase, using key features. If that doesn't look like a funnel, well, most likely you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Where do they drop off? Checkout page, onboarding, specific screen, email follow-up. Which sections matter the most? For example, an online retailer should track product views, add to carts, and checkout completion. Meanwhile, a SaaS company needs to focus on how often users engage with their core features. Like how do they activate inside the product? How do they transition to the checkout process? Like how fast do they grow in terms of using your product? If you don't understand your own product, or you cannot map it out, or your website structure, well, you won't know what's worth tracking. And the saddest part is that if you don't know how it works, your customers don't know it either.
Yeah, we will need tools for this process, I guess. And is Google Analytics a good option for this?
Well, it might be. The right tool depends on the specific business needs. So yeah, for real-time website tracking, yes, Google Analytics 4 is an option. It's a good choice. Or our tracker, AWACS streaming. But for deeper analysis, that should be a bundle of tools, but basically you need to start with some sort of a storage. So that's the starting point, like BigQuery, Snowflake. That might be even Google Sheets at some point if you are just starting out. But basically, it's a bit too early now to talk about the specific tools. I don't want to talk about the tools today. Each tool has different strengths, so businesses need to choose what aligns with their goals.
Got it. Okay, so once the tools are chosen, it's probably time to actually define what to track.
Yeah, and this is where a lot of businesses go wrong. Like, they just start tracking everything without thinking. A tracking should be a document. What will be tracked? Why does it matter? And where those things are triggered. This blueprint ensures that everything is aligned with business goals. Otherwise, you just don't need it.
All right, so we've got our website tracking in place because that's where everything starts. And we're collecting data somewhere. But here's the thing. Most companies don't just use one tool. They have CRMs, ad platforms, customer service tools, and something they track even offline to track offline data. How do we bring all of this together?
Look, I've mentioned data warehouses already. Because right now your customer data is most likely scattered across different platforms. Some pieces over there, some pieces over there. So marketing teams, they look at Google Ads, Google Analytics accounts, right? Sales teams, Salesforce. Support team, Zendesk. But if these systems don't talk to each other, and most likely they don't, you're missing the full picture.
Yeah, for sure. It's like each department is operating with half the story.
Exactly. And to truly utilize and activate your data, you need to merge those data sources into a central location, like a data warehouse, Google BigQuery, Snowflake, AWS Redshift. That way, instead of working with siloed insights, you get a 360-degree view of your customers, of the whole business performance. And you are now able to answer questions like, which marketing channel bringing most high-value customers? Or how do customer interactions with support affect retention? What's the full customer journey from the first ad click to the final purchase? And the best part, once your data is unified in some sort of the storage, you can start automating this insight generation instead of manually pulling reports from different tools and then merging the data, somehow updating them, so to say, manually again.
Okay, so let's say we've got all this data in one place, but there's another issue. Data is messy. What happens if customer names are spelled differently in different systems, or in some transactions are missing key details?
That's a massive problem because, as we already discussed, bad data means bad insights and bad decisions. If you don't clean your data first, your reports are going to be unreliable. The cleaning process typically involves a few key steps. One, it's about removing duplicates. If the same customer appears in multiple databases, you just need to merge the records. Then, standardizing formats. Dates, phone numbers, currency values. These need to be uniform across all tables. Number 3, handling missing values. Because if your sales data is missing 20% of transactions, that's a huge blind spot. So let's be real. No one wants to tell CEO their report was off because of a data glitch.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody wants to tell you that. All right, so now that we've got clean and unified data, it's time to actually do something with it.
All right, you need a report or a dashboard that tells a story with the data. Executives need high-level summaries like revenue trends, customer growth, overall business performance, like those bold metrics. Marketing teams needs the channel breakdowns, which ads are driving sales, what content is working, where conversions are happening. Sales teams need some kind of a pipeline tracking, which leads are hot, where deals are getting stuck, and what kind of outreach is working.
Yeah, that makes sense. But here's another issue. Some businesses still rely on old-fashioned BI dashboards.
Yeah, and that's the huge mistakes. Because traditional BI dashboards and tools like Looker Studio, Power BI, they are fine for basically the overall monitoring. But they cannot scale. Listen, until data is not delivered to the tool with that UI that is easy to navigate by the business user and the decision maker, data is not utilized. So if you want your organization to really make decisions based on data, based on those long-tailed data points that are available inside the database, and make those decisions in real time, there are basically just 2 tools for reporting. Yeah, literally just 2 tools in the world. Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel.
I've heard something about those 2 tools for sure. Okay, but here's the thing. To get insights, everything has to be updated regularly, right? And updating reports manually takes way too much time. How do we fix that?
Automation. Instead of manually pulling data every day or every week, you should use some sort of reporting tools like Ovox, so that the report consumer sets the schedule to automate data delivery to the spreadsheet. So yeah, you basically need 4 things in place. Extract data from all of your sources, CRMs, ad platforms, databases, analytic tools, and store that in the data warehouse. Then you build a solid data model suitable for easy reporting that empowers that further reporting. You need to transform the data from being raw into business ready to the format of the data model you've built. And finally, you bring your reports into a reporting tool, Google Sheets, Excel. But you can go with some BI dashboards, BI tools as well. That's okay, if you're comfortable with it. As everything is already ready, you have some data, you have a data model, you have all of the transformations up and running. We help businesses with all of those 4, from data collection using free connectors, then building data model, launching that from the template in Ovox BI, then transforming data on a schedule with dependency triggers, and then reporting on all your business data inside Google Sheets.
So basically, instead of waiting for reports, teams get live, up-to-date insights on schedule, right?
Exactly. So this is where tools like Ovox BI come in handy, because it does all the heavy lifting for businesses without compromising privacy, because everything happens inside the business infrastructure.
All right, before we start making big decisions based on this data, how do we make sure it's actually accurate?
Testing. This step is all about making sure your analytics setup is working as expected. Here's what needs to be checked. First, if it all starts from Google Analytics, and it typically does for most of the businesses, are all the events firing correctly? Do we have relevant data for building reports, Like, do we collect all of those data points that align with answering the questions to meet our business goals? And do reports that we get match the real business numbers, the one that the CEO would expect? Are there any data discrepancies between different reports? Like, just check 2 data points in different reports. Check that they have the same figures.
Okay, and what if something looks off? What do?
Like, you just dig in. Maybe an integration is broken or tracking pixel isn't firing. Just fix it before allowing business to make decision.
Yeah, makes sense. So now let's say we've got perfect reports, accurate tracking in place, a transformation layer, a data model, a reporting system, and everything is automated. Now what?
Now you have to make sure that people actually use data. Because a lot of companies invest in analytics, right? But then teams do not know how to interpret that data, how to answer questions with data, how to even structure those questions, how to query data to get the information allowing you to make real business decisions.
Yeah, I've seen marketing teams ignore reports and dashboards because they don't know what to look for. I see this all the time.
That's why businesses need to train employees on how to read and interpret reports. The ideal way would be to set up some sort of regular data reviews, meetings, so insights are actually discussed. Because this ensures that decisions are based on data, not just gut feeling.
And that brings us to the final step, keeping the system evolving.
Exactly. Data processes need constant maintenance, sometimes refinement, at least once a year, maybe once a quarter. So every business should review the KPIs. Are we tracking the right metrics? Should we continue doing this? Does that still relevant to our business? Update tracking setups, like are all of the new product features in the SaaS company being tracked? And experiment and iterate on reports. Ask more questions, query the same data again and again to get the insights you need to answer questions properly.
Yeah, wow, that was a lot. But that's exactly why proper analytics implementation is so important. If you don't set it up right, you're flying blind.
All right. And the best part? Once you have a solid analytics setup, you'll make faster, smarter decisions that drive real business growth.
And that wraps up our discussion on the 6 critical steps for effective data analytics implementation. Remember, setting up your analytics is the right way is not just about collecting data. It's about making that data work for you so you make decisions that truly drive your business forward. To help you on this journey, check out AWACS BI platform. Start for free at awacs.com. We offer a range of tools to help you gather, organize, analyze, and report your data. Whether you're looking for an easy-to-use solutions or need advanced technical setups, we've got something for everyone. And if you run into any challenges, our expert support team is just a chat away to assist you.
Absolutely. And to further empower your data-driven journey, we are excited to introduce our latest innovation, the AWACS GS Data Connectors. It's a 100% free way to collect any data you want from any platform into Google Sheets, making it accessible for businesses of all sizes. Check the link in the description of this video for more details and to join our community of data enthusiasts.
All right, that's a wrap. Thank you all for joining us today, whether you're listening on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more insightful episodes every Thursday. Dive deep into your data, stay informed, and above all, keep making smarter decisions. So thank you, Ievgen, for breaking down these steps for us, and thanks to everyone for listening. See you next time on the Data Crunch podcast.